Hey, good afternoon, Facebook family. Byron Tyler here from Branson with my good friend Lynn Berry and the Lennon sisters. We're about ready to start our live show here. So I want you to stay with us, and we're going to have a great afternoon right here from Branson. You can learn more by going to explorebranson.com. But hey, this is Miss Lynn's birthday today, too. So we're going to have a great time. So hang with us, and we're going to have a great show. Okay, we're coming up on that jingle, and then we're going to go.
Okay.
And we have to have those little preliminary things on the air, which is happening right now. Here we go. Stand by. Hey, we're live from Branson. I'm Byron Tyler. Always a pleasure to be in Branson, Missouri, especially when I get the opportunity to co-host this show with my good friend Lynn Berry from the Branson Chamber of Commerce. Miss Lynn, happy birthday.
Thank you, Byron.
Hey, and we're going to kick off our show today with the world famous Lennon sisters. We have the opportunity. We've got Mimi, who's standing behind you right now. We've got Janet, we've got Kathy, and we're having a great time. And would it be appropriate, ladies? We were talking about you maybe singing a little bit. Sure. Could you sing happy birthday to Miss Lynn?
Oh, of course we can.
I mean, that would, what an incredible, come on and get here, Miss Lynn.
Okay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lynn. Happy birthday to you. We love you.
Oh, what a great way to start our fall show from Branson Studios with the Lennon sisters. Ladies, it's always good to see you. Welcome to Bot Radio Network. How are you doing?
Good.
Great. Always good to see you, Byron.
Everybody's kind of getting warmed up here with sweaters, and I know it's been.
It's a cold.
It just turned. Wow.
I'm going to get y'all real close to those microphones. There we go.
And it's just
day.
and it seems like maybe it was a month or so ago we were in this room with you.
How did it
It goes by so fast.
It didn't go that fast when you were in school, did it?
No, I don't think it did. You wanted to school to get over with those summer vacations.
That's right, exactly.
Now, speaking of summer vacations, now the Lennon sisters usually have a big family reunion in California. Now, have you had that yet?
No, we do it every other year, and so it'll be coming up this next year, and it's always very special because not only the Lennon sisters, but Lennon brothers and sisters and cousins, and there's like probably 35 of us that perform, and we do it as a charity, every year, every other year, and it's pretty special, so we love it.
Well, and I know, of course, your career, 60 years spanning, more than 60 years.
Yeah, over 60.
I mean, it all started with the Lawrence Welk show, getting your first start, I was wondering what have been maybe some of the people along the way, because I mean, having 60-year career is such a long time to stay focused that long, to stay together, be a family and stay together. I mean, how have you done that?
Well, we always say we are sisters first. We would, if anything in our career would tear us apart as sisters, we wouldn't be working. So we've learned to work just great together.
Actually, we always say that minority rules. That was kind of our rule in performing. So rather than majority, it was minority because that person cared that much about it. And I think that's why we've stayed together for so long, and we've had a career that we have had such an amazing career, met some of the greatest. I mean, seven presidents and Hollywood Walk of Fame and worked with Andy Williams and Perry Como and George Burns and Bob Hope and Jimmy Durante. I mean, we could go on and on and on. We have had a blessed career.
Well, out of all of the accolades, the awards and recognition, what means most to each of you through this amazing career?
Mimi, why don't you tell him that since you've joined us?
Well, we did, we were inducted into the Vocal Group Hall of Fame, which was really exciting. We went to, Pennsylvania to receive an award there. But just meeting some of the people for me, I joined the girls 20 years ago, so I didn't get to meet all the people that they met. But meeting Stevie Wonder was pretty exciting for me.
And Roberta Flack, that was
and Roberta Flack,
goodness.
And then working with Andy Williams, of course. That's the dream come true.
Wow.
In fact, that is what, I'm sorry, I think that was so incredible for us that we work at the Andy Williams Performing Arts Center here in Branson, that it's just an honor to continue his legacy of a Christmas show. And we're just blessed to be able to do that.
This is your
here.
26th year?
25th year.
25th year, okay, for
in
doing
Branson.
the Christmas Branson show at the Moon River Theater. And, of course, you partner with Jimmy Osmond from the Osmonds.
This year we're with Jimmy Osmond. We has these ice dancers coming in, so I suppose we have an ice rink on the stage. I don't know.
Ice
We haven't
Angels.
started. And the Voices of Glory, AO, the Voices of Glory. We have Charlie Green, who won Britain's Got Talent. And
Pasha and Ilona.
Pasha and Ilona will be there. They're there every year.
And those were Andy's two of, I think, his
He
favorite
loves
show.
those.
Yeah, love
They will always
yes.
be there. And then, of course, my granddaughters will be performing again for the
That is
18th
one of the
year.
highlights when the granddaughters come on
Thanks.
stage. Oh,
It
my
is.
goodness. It
It's
is
very
so.
fun.
What is it like to, you believe you've got granddaughters that you're on stage with?
Well, it's just been so fun because literally they started when they were babies. They used to come sit in the show in their jammies and come sit on our laps while we sang Christmas songs to them. And now they're singing Christmas songs to us and dancing. So.
In fact, last week we went and we saw the Gatlin brothers were in town,
Yeah.
and we got to see them because we're such groupies. And they talked about, because we did 3 years with them over at the Welk Theater with the Gatlin brothers, and they talked about, and the girls came to see them, the granddaughters, and now they're in high school and one's off to college. They looked at them, they said, "Wait, we held you when you were 1 and you were 3."
Well, I know you ladies never get tired of singing the classics at the Lennon that you sing and you've sung for so many years. But what about, I mean, are you inspired to write new music, to do new projects, or you just want to hang on to the classics and just remember those?
Well, for years, we always did a lot of new things. We'd hear something on the radio and we'd say, we want to do that. And for years we had that done. But as we've mellowed, we know what works for us, and we just stick to what we do best, and that's what people come to see.
And once in a while we'll have it's like our fans come and say, "Oh, can't you do such and such?" And we have it in our show. So we do their favorites pretty much. But once in a while, Janet and I went and saw a Barbara Streisand concert, and then she did a certain number. We went, "Oh, we could do that." They start to get the juices flowing again.
Yeah.
So, and this year actually on the Christmas show, we'll be doing an extra number for the vets, and we're kind of looking forward to that this year.
Well, of course, Branson is not just a place you perform. This is your home.
We love it.
You
We
have
have
your
lived
family.
here.
You've lived here. Family's here.
The community is so amazing, and it always has been. I mean, for us to be here 24 years, and this is our 25th season, we can't believe it. We were going to come for 1 year.
I mean,
But we all can't. Like, when can we go to Silver Dollar City? When can we take the Polar Express? When can we go to the Titanic? When can we? I mean, it's like our community. And what shows can we see?
And nieces and nephews that have married Ozarkians.
Yeah, and when you first were invited by Andy Williams to come here, 20 plus years ago, I mean, you thought just for 1 year.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, we just wanted to see what it was like, and here we are.
And here we are. We met Lynn Berry, and now we're here.
That's right. Well, what are some of the things that stand out to you about Branson and about the community here?
Oh, it's just First of all, the beauty, just the beauty
Ozarks,
of the Ozarks, and the seasons are fantastic, and the community is just they're so friendly. Everybody, like they say, waves to you when you're driving on the street.
I mean, like a funny thing is like when we're from California, born and raised, we're beach girls. So to come here is like, what? Shock, But we love the lake and all, it's all beautiful. But when we are in California visiting, we'll say, oh, I forgot to hold my mail. Let me call my mailman. And then I call and we say, could you hold it for Jim Darren? Oh, of course. Yeah, Jim. Okay. And that's what this community is about.
Wow.
And running into somebody at Dick's 5 and 10, and that's what we love about Branson. It is home to us, and the community is so good to us. We love them and they love us, and it's always wonderful.
Well, we know that Christmas starts early in Branson. November the 1st will be the kickoff, and November 1st through December 15th.
Yeah, 6 weeks.
Yeah, the Lennons will be at the Moon River for this Christmas special.
Right.
And
Monday through Saturday, 8 o'clock.
And so you can go to Andy Williams, PAC.com, Andy
Performing
Williams
Arts
Performing Arts Center, but
Mhm.
PAC for short.com, and get all the details. Order your tickets before you come, and come see the Lennon sisters.
And we always sign after the show and take pictures and say hello. So
oh, I
come
know.
and tell
I've
us.
watched. I've been there. It's
We
wonderful.
always
Even
do.
sign your paper dolls.
That's
you know?
right. Our paper
Oh,
dolls.
yes.
People
I watched
love that.
Yeah. Hey, listen. You always have to give us a little bit. And you sang
All
for Miss
right.
Lynn, but you haven't sung for me yet. Okay.
We'll sing a little bit. So have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Merry Christmas to
Oh, now my Christmas has been complete because the Lennon sisters have sung to me, ladies, Merry
Oh,
Christmas.
Byron,
Merry
thank you.
Christmas.
Always a
Yeah.
pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for joining Bot
Always
Radio.
wonderful. We'll see
All
you
right.
in about a month.
I look forward to it.
Okay.
All right. Well, Miss Lynn, as always, we enjoy having the Lennons here, and what a treat to have them sing for your birthday. What do you think about that?
Oh my goodness, that was so sweet, and I will treasure it always.
And of course, it's live on Facebook here. We want to remind our friends watching live on Facebook, we're here in Branson for day 2 of our live show from Branson, interviewing the Lennon sisters. We've got a great lineup today, and I'm excited to introduce our next guest. Had a chance to sit down with R.W. Blackwood and his wife, Donna. I guess it's been, R.W., a couple years back. I want to get everybody close to those microphones,
Yeah.
okay?
All right,
Move in there for me. But R.W. and your wife, Donna, and you'll have someone else.
Our daughter,
This is your daughter?
Andrea.
Andrea.
That's me.
Yeah.
Andrea, thanks for being here today.
Yeah.
And you guys came dressed to kill.
We did.
And
They
we
said
were
dress
told
for
to
the
come
camera.
kill, so here we
Yeah,
are.
you're here. What, did you come off the stage or are you heading to the stage? No,
Well,
yeah.
Neither one.
That's
we
right.
did a show
we
this
had a break.
morning.
We just dressed for you today.
Well, yeah,
Well,
they told us
that
to
is-
get dressed up in our fancy Sunday best.
Well, that is all. So 10 o'clock every, is it
Mon-
weekday? Or
Monday through Saturday.
Monday
right
through
now.
6 days a week.
Right now.
All the way through December 29th, you're
Right.
doing a show.
Right.
Right.
I mean, what's it like get up at, what time you get up at
5:30.
5:30 for a 10 o'clock show?
Yeah.
For me, it's terrible.
I'm a morning person, so I've been doing that since the day I guess I came into this world.
Andrea, how did your parents drag you into this?
Born into it.
Well, I think I was born on a bus.
Yes. But
It's
see,
just
on the
kinda-
bus, we could sleep till noon. Now we're up at 5:30. So
You
Oh,
did
my.
it.
Blackwood Brothers used to do a song called "Every Day Would Be Sunday by and By." I didn't like the song because Sunday mornings were hard to sing. Now in Branson, every day is Sunday by and by.
Oh, my goodness. Well, of course, the world famous Blackwood Brothers, R.W., you are the son, grandson, and nephew of the founding members. The quartet established back in 1934.
Right, Mississippi.
Mississippi, but we've got some Memphis connection too, which we're excited about because we're broadcasting live in the Memphis Mid-South area. Our Mississippi listeners can hear us too. So you're back in your own stomping grounds right now.
Moved to Memphis in 1950, and I grew up in Memphis. I went to Central High, the high school.
You know, my
Oh,
mom
goodness.
graduated from Central.
Really?
Yeah.
I graduated in '61,
Yeah, she probably graduated a couple years before that. But
Wow. and I went to Memphis State.
yeah,
Went to Bellevue Junior High.
Oh, me, here he goes.
So Bruce Elementary School.
You'll have to cut him off because
No.
he'll keep going.
oh
and
no,
going.
listen, I love it.
Listen.
I love it when he talks about Memphis and the connection there. And also, I know you, of course, you started singing in the back seat of your parents' car when you were 11 years old.
I was 10 the
Were you
first time
10?
I sang. I was just singing my dad's song in the backseat of the car, and we was on our way to church or something. He turned around and said, "You're singing to the next concert." I grew up, you never questioned what your dad said. There was no reasoning, no lawyers, no attorneys, no question. You did it.
Well, and of course, R.W., it was about a year later that tragically your father was killed in that plane crash.
Right.
And he was your hero. You thought your life had kind of come to an end, didn't you?
Right. I remember sitting and thinking, what am I going to ever do without my dad? You know, what am I going to do in a year from now or 10 years from now? How am I going to survive? It was very traumatic.
Well, your Uncle James kind of was one, I'm sure, many that helped keep the family together and really knew that the heart of the sound, the quartet sound of the Blackwood Brothers must go on. And he contacted you.
Right. And they took me on the first 3 years. I would do the concerts and sing my father's songs. And one time I asked J.D. Sumner, I said, "J.D., why are y'all taking me?" He said, because for the first 3 years, they didn't know I was here. All they wanted to do was hear about your father and Bill Lyles.
Yes.
And so we brought you to sing his songs. And then once I got established, then you didn't get to go no more.
And your father was such a hero of so many. Mr. Elvis Presley, of course, who had his home in Memphis at Graceland.
Right.
And matter of fact, there was a concert that you were together with Elvis Presley, and he came and told you something personally about your dad.
Well, it was a memorial concert, De Leon, Texas. And they were scheduled to sing there the year before, but the plane crash happened, and they, of course, didn't make it. And so they did a memorial 1 year later. It had been July 1955. And so they had me there, and James went out and told the story. of how they should have been there and they didn't make it. And they talked about the plane crash and Bill Lyles and R.W. Blackwood. And then they had me sing my father's songs. Well, Elvis was on the concert and he got very emotional and told the promoter, said, I'm not going to sing rock and roll today. He said, this is going to be all gospel in honor of R.W. Blackwood Sr. And so it's the only concert on record recorded where Elvis actually did a full gospel concert.
Wow. You know, of course, Elvis attended church with your family, the Blackwoods, at the First Assembly of God Church in Memphis. And I know the Presleys, when they first moved up from Tupelo, I've got some friends that, you know, attended church at that time. And I'm sure that, you know, the Blackwoods became friends with, you know, the Presley family.
Right.
And I know he had I mean, I think the only was a Grammy he received was for singing gospel. Was that right?
That's right.
Yeah.
I've got a little great-granddaughter that's a Presley I'm very proud of. I bought her a little white jumpsuit, and I'm going to put her on the show.
Well, Andrea, tell me about, you know, the legacy, the heritage that you're, you know, getting a chance to glean from and spawn off of. Tell me what that means for you.
Well, what do I say?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's an honor. It
Yeah.
is. There's so many people, or so many younger people that are just a hair younger than me, that I don't know what happened somewhere that got lost in translation, but some of them may know who the Blackwoods are and some of them don't. But when their grandparents pass away and stuff like that, they start cleaning out their stuff and they find all these records, and I get phone calls say, hey, aren't you a Blackwood? I've got some records. I've gotten a lot of stuff from people like that, people
Wow.
that are just acquaintances.
Yes.
They maybe go to my church or something
Right.
like that. But I mean, and then they start asking me a lot of questions. Now, sometimes they say, well, you're famous. And I go, well, I'm not famous, but my family is. So
Wow.
I consider it an honor and a privilege to be able to keep singing
Yes.
and keep, you know, leading that on. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy my job. Most people don't enjoy
Yeah,
their
that's
jobs,
exactly.
but I enjoy my job.
I enjoy mine too, Miss Andrea.
And I get the privilege of singing with my parents every day, and
Right.
a lot of people don't get that.
That is pretty special. Well, I'll tell you, probably the highlight really of your life is when you took that concert to Texas and you met Miss Donna here.
Donna Blackwood.
Yeah.
There are two highlights in my life.
Oh,
Oh, no.
goodness. Here we
Meeting
go.
Donna Blackwood in Houston, Texas at the music hall. But I must confess, I'm very rattled right now.
Oh, no.
The Lennon sisters were in here. When I was 12 years old, every Saturday, when Lawrence Welk came on,
Yes.
I was glued to that TV. I was a 12-year-old in love with a little 9-year-old girl that sang with the Lennon sisters. I've waited all these years to meet Janet, and I met her today.
Oh, this was the first time.
My
Yeah.
first time, and I got my picture made. I'm going to get it autographed and blown up. I just can't
You
wait.
noticed he put my mom first, right?
Yeah, you did. Miss Donna, tell me what you think about that.
Well, you know, we've been here at 53 years, and this is not the first time I've heard about Janet Lennon.
Wow.
So I'm thrilled. I took the picture for you.
You know, of course, you know, singing was part of your life too.
It was,
know.
but not, I mean, we went to the gospel concerts, but actually didn't start going until after his father was killed. So I never had the privilege of hearing his dad.
Yes.
However, I heard about his dad from the people that used to take us, but I was raised in the church. My dad, a minister, and I sang in churches everywhere, all over Houston, Texas. And so his Uncle Cecil, from the time I was 13 until the time I met him, he would say, I have a nephew you need to meet. I have a nephew you need to meet. And finally, 2 weeks before I turned 17, I met him.
You met the nephew.
And then we were married a little over a year later. I was 18.
I'm glad
barely.
you finally told the truth because you tell everybody else I took you out of the nursery.
Well, let's remind our Bot Radio Network listeners here in Branson, the Dutton Family Theater on
Yeah.
Highway 76, morning show for the Blackwoods, 10 a.m., 6 days a week. You can go to theblackwoods.com and learn
Yes.
all the history, get all the details,
Yes.
purchase your tickets.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining
Thank
Bot
you.
Radio
Yeah,
today.
thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
Oh,
Thank you,
thank
Andrea.
you.
We do a
Thank
lot
you,
of
Donna.
history in the
Yes.
show that they'll learn.
Yes, they
too.
do. Yeah. Thank you
That
so
would be
much
great.
for
Thank
stopping
you,
by.
Byron.
We appreciate you.
Thank you
Y'all have a
guys.
Merry Christmas too,
You
early.
too.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
Miss Lynn, again, another dynamic opportunity to meet some entertainers here in Branson. Well, you can have a seat this
Oh,
time.
some of the sweetest
I
people
think you're good to
are
sit
the
down now.
Blackwoods.
Yes, they are.
I'm partial.
And we talk about people who have a heritage, people who have a long-standing, entertainment history.
That's right.
I mean, we've got to talk about the Mabe family. The Mabe family really, you could probably say the May family helped put Branson on the map. Could you say that?
Started it.
That's what I'm saying. They started the entertainment right here. I mean, you know, and so we've got third generation Brandon Mape. His wife Megan is here right now. How are you doing? Always good to see you guys.
Doing well. Well, thank you
It's
for
been
having us.
it's been since Christmas, I guess we saw you.
It was,
Is that right?
yeah, the last
Yes.
Christmas.
Get you, Megan, to go a little closer to that mic
All right,
for me.
sorry.
No, you're good. No, no, it's not going to bite you.
Maybe.
But it's always good to see you. How you been doing?
Doing well.
Doing really well.
Yep.
I know you have been making some adjustments
Oh, yeah.
to the Bald Knobber show, a show that started back in the 1950s here in Branson.
1959 is when my grandpa and my great uncle started it. So, and they started basically down where the Branson Landing is now, down around the lakefront there, performing to fishermen and all that kind of good stuff. Quickly evolving. They performed basement of City Hall. They remodeled a skating rink for a theater. They performed in a pavilion, and then they made their way to the Strip in 1969. We were there for, well, until the last couple years now. We've moved over to Highway 165, carrying
Yeah.
on the family tradition. So.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hey, what do you attribute the longevity of the May family being on stage for all these years?
You know, well, one, we've been very blessed to have a very close family, a very large family too.
Yeah.
We're not the Hughes brothers, but no, yeah, we're very close. And of course, the way that the show was founded was basically on Christian principles. So it was family, God, and country, and we've always grown up that way. We performed together. We performed in churches, and we just kind of carry that love and entertainment onto the stage at night.
Yeah. Megan, how difficult is it to run an organization like the Bald Knobbers with so many family members?
Oh my goodness. It's very special. That would be the best word I could use to describe it. Getting to work on stage every night and run the business up front, backstage, and all of it together with the people that you love most is special and something that will create memories that we'll get to have forever. Our kids will have. It's
But
really
how do you deal with conflict and disagreements? I mean,
What do
I'm
you
sure
mean?
it comes
You
up
just- you
that
sometimes.
never happens.
It never happens.
You disagree, you say what you need to say, and you move on. That's
Yeah.
what it is. I mean, it's just like
That's
any other
family, isn't it?
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
No, it is a blessing. It truly is. And whether we're agreeing or disagreeing, we always find the right way to come together and put on a quality show and also support each other.
What about challenging each other
Yep.
with your talents? You know,
Mhm.
I mean, you all come to the stage with different skill sets,
Yep.
whether it be playing an instrument, singing a song, doing something backstage to make the show go. How do you
Yeah.
keep each other accountable,
Yeah.
encouraged?
It's easy. We're extremely competitive.
Are you?
So we want to be
Very competitive. No, him and his father, they're very, very competitive.
especially when it comes to sports.
Yeah.
But you have to kind
Don't
of
get me
learn
started.
how to use everybody. Everybody has something special to give to the stage, and
Yeah.
we play on each person's
Yeah.
strengths, and we all have weaknesses too, and we
Yeah.
know how to highlight the strengths and not show the weaknesses.
what about when you're not performing on stage? What does the May family like to do? Where do you like to hang out? Where do you like to go in Branson when you're?
Well, I like to play sports. We hang out at the landing lot because Megan loves to shop. So that
Deal.
we're there a lot.
Smart.
No, her and her mom do a lot of shopping. My father and I play a lot of sports, and honestly, right now we're starting to remodel our house. So that's kind of what our
So we're stuck at
that's
home.
kind of what our
Yes.
life off the
Mhm.
stage is
Cool.
like. Yeah.
I mean, when I first met you guys, well, you were fresh off the altar. You
Yeah.
just got
Yeah.
married, you know?
We just
Yeah.
celebrated 3 years last month.
Yeah.
so.
And so
So
things are still
sweet.
going good, you know?
They're good. Yes.
Good, good.
I'm still
Thank God.
tolerating him.
Oh, come on.
No, it's going great.
Yeah.
Well, when you look at the legacy that your family has been built up on, I mean, you have memorabilia in the Smithsonian,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
pretty
so,
cool.
yeah, it's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
What means the most to you, Brandon?
Honestly, for me, just knowing that my family, with my grandfather, my father, my cousins, uncles, all of them before me, the stamp they put in Branson, I mean, they helped, especially on the entertainment industry. I mean, it wasn't even just the show The Bald Knobbers. They were the opening band for Silver Dollar City. They were some of the brothers were in the original cast of Shepherd of the Hills play. So, I mean, they've been a very strong part of the Branson community for many, many years. And just growing up in that, getting to idolize them and witness that, and knowing how strong that legacy truly is, it just makes me want to carry it on that much more. So,
Yeah. And Megan, you kind of didn't you move from a singing family yourself prior to joining the stage?
My mom is a fantastic singer, but my family wasn't really overly musical. I went to school and graduated with a journalism and writing degree. Moved down here and on a whim auditioned for a show, and this many years later, here I am.
Yeah.
So God knows where to take you and the path that you need to go
Wow,
on.
that's pretty exciting.
So.
Mhm.
Well, I've been backstage and I've seen how the Bald Knobber show operates. I've had the opportunity to see, I know the theater's changed a little bit, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, it's a
You know?
different theater.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's a new theater you're working
It
out
is. It's a much newer theater. So there's a lot of different updates and things that are more relevant to today's time as far as what we need to put on a show that this theater really can provide us with. The last one that was on the Strip that is just was bought by WonderWorks. That's where I grew up though. So there's so many fond memories there, and it's crazy because 4 kids. We have 4 kids that are terrorizing the place right now, and I'm seeing my life through it. I go back and I remember that I absolutely demolished the old building. How did they ever keep it standing? And I'm realizing how that works now. But
So
no,
sweet.
it's a true blessing.
Now, if folks want a piece of pie or something to eat, they can still go by the restaurant, can't they? Isn't there a Bald Knobber's restaurant there?
There's not right now. There's a Bald Knobber's Motel.
Okay.
Okay. We do not own that anymore, but we remain great. Close relationship with that ownership there, and then they have a restaurant there. It's Getting Basted now. Is
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where
good
that-
right.
barbecue.
Which is still good food.
Really
Oh,
fantastic.
yes.
Oh, my
Great.
goodness,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Absolutely great.
If you can't have Memphis barbecue, I would recommend Getting Basted here in
Yeah.
Branson.
There you
for
go.
total
Yeah,
sure.
they're
Yeah.
right there next door to that. But yeah.
Okay, now we're getting ready to wrap up the show here. We've got a couple minutes left before we say goodbye. We want to make sure folks know when your shows are, how
Yeah.
can they get to your website, Facebook page, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. Well, first, we are Monday through Saturday night at 8 p.m. We also have a brand new gospel show we just added Wednesday afternoons at 2 p.m., which we're having a blast doing. BaldKnobbers.com pulls up all the information. Facebook page, type in Bald Knobbers. We're going to show up in the search bar, so find us there. Twitter account, you name it.
Can you
We're trying to have it all.
now the Lennon sisters gave us a little bit. Could you guys give it maybe one stanza from something? Get a little harmony.
One stanza from
All right.
something,
A little
like
harmony.
a Christmas song or
Can
something.
you think of something?
I'll let Megan lead it, and then I'll fall in if I can.
we go.
All right. Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. Yeah, it's a beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Brandon, Maeve. Thank you so much. It's always great to have you here.
Thank you
Give that
so much.
website one more time, Brandon.
BaldKnobbers.com.
Well, Miss Lynn, this is day 2. We've had a great time in the studio. We've got one more day tomorrow. We'll be live at 3 p.m. right here, same time, same place, same station on Bot Radio Network Branson Studios. And happy birthday once again to you,
Thank
too.
Yes,
What a
happy
great
birthday. That's what we should
day.
have sang. Happy birthday to you.
And make sure if you want more details, you
Mhm.
go to explorebranson.com.
That's right.
The website is explorebranson.com. I'm Byron Tyler. Thanks for listening.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you guys.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Julia.
Sweetest.
That's